G-Man here, another update, Carnivorous plants. It's now January. Since April, I want to show you, and I'll show you a picture collage of what's happened, but I want to show you a video as well. So I got this nice plant from my daughter. I'm not sure, I think it's a palm. I have to look it up, but my daughter made this pot for me. Look at this. My granddaughter, Theta. She made this, my granddaughter did. She made this, and look at it, it's growing pretty big. Look at Theta, your plant has gotten huge. It's getting big, it loves it over here. Venus flytraps, not so much. I'll have to take that down and look down inside of it. But look at the Rosa Sarracenia. Look at the little short ones here, a little bit different. Look at that red. Look at that red just popping in the veins. They got more of a closed, open mouth petal, catching lots of bugs. Those damn annoying beetles. But check out this. Look at how red in the veins in the how. So it gets all this gets a sweet nectar up here on the edge. Bugs get attracted to the smell. They either climb up it or fly up on there. And as soon as they get inside and they get past that lip, they slip down and they get digested in the plant's enzymes. It's very, very cool. So it's done really well. It's exploded since it's been inside. And I'm going to tell you the secret. And then my one plant that survived out of the tropicals, I'm not sure the specific name on this Apenthes, but I want to show you. Remember I showed you earlier the other one didn't make it? But look at this. This has exploded with life. Look at the pictures on here. Look at this. Look at this. I know it's going to look something, you guys are going to think dirty right away. That's on you. But look at that. Oh my goodness. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. Just looks deadly, doesn't it? But boy, she's been catching bugs. This is a new one down here. New one's coming up. It's got more coming off the shoots, off the green part. See, every time it shoots up a leaf, a pod shows up. So it's another one. Look at how pretty. I want to show you this. We had something wild growing here. I don't know what it is, but I'm just going to let it. Now, the crown, I'm pronouncing this incorrectly, so I totally apologize. But the cap hasn't opened yet. It's going to. I try not to touch these. I don't touch with my bare hands because they're really sensitive to oils and stuff. It's just me. You should be wearing gloves when you're touching these if you have to. But look at this. Look how pretty that is. Unbelievable. Looks deadly, doesn't it? I love carnivorous plants, but look how pretty that is. Just absolutely gorgeous. And that thing's exploded since last April. Remember, it was just like this. It was like this big. I'll do a picture collage and show you how the growth and development has. But now you want to know what the number one secret, other than using RO water, keeping them moist, making sure you're checking this like every couple days. It can go, don't want it to go dry. You want to stick your finger in there and see if you feel water. You want water to be in there. And then every once in a while, take the bottom off, drain it in your sink. Just drain it in your sink. RO water though, only pour RO water in there. Less minerals the better, just to clean it out and then put it back, connect it back. The root system is going to be down here masked on the bottom. So I'm eventually going to change these out into bigger pots because the roots have gotten really big. There's a lot of roots down here. I don't want to show you that, but it's really, really cool. So the number one secret, and you can look this up, two of my favorites, and called Sarracenia Northwest. They're awesome. These guys are two professionals. They know their stuff. I've been following them for many, many years. I've bought plants from them and they produced very, very well. You guys are awesome. Jacob, and I'm trying to remember the name of the other gentleman, but go look them up. Sarracenia Northwest. I'll put it in the links description down below. Go check them out. You'll find something. Venus flytraps, everything. My Venus flytraps are outside. They're in dormancy right now. They're still sitting in ice. They're ice over and there's snow over it and they're covered. So cross our fingers and hopefully springtime they'll explode again, and I'll show you the new life of what you have to do there. But check this out. Number one secret. As you can see how close they are to the light. All right. Now I could put them farther away. This is about just right, just about right. The LED lights, these LED lights put out less, oh man, how many watts? I'm trying to remember, like 2 watts or something like that. But the way they're designed, the LED lights are so closely together, they get warm. They're a warm light that comes off of them, not cold light. You want an LED light strip. So these are 2 of them. I just got hooked up to 2 chains. They're both synchronized and I got them on a timer. This number 1 secret is light and sun. Like I said, this takes a lot of energy for these plants to produce this kind of growth, especially this. And the number 1 secret is sunlight and light. They're getting radiation and heat off of here. It's a constant like 70-ish, 69 lowest in my kitchen, but they're always in this window all the time. So when the sun starts coming up higher and higher in the sky, they'll get a little bit of sunlight. I'll take them outside during the summertime. But right now, while they're inside, they're getting a lot of light. They get over 13 hours of this. 13 hours. On, off, every day. Every day. And I know it's a thing. People do it. I do it just out of habit. I make it a habit. When I get my cup of coffee, I come over here, and you don't have to do this. I do. I just give them little spurts, just a little spurts. All my plants get a little spurts of water. You don't need to do it. I do it, and it seems to work well for me. And then, like I said, once every week, I'll take them down here, put them in the drain, and I'll take my RO water and flood them. Let them drain out, let the water drain out, then put the cap back on, put them back up. Make sure there's water inside of here. They can feel water. If you can feel water in there, you're good. A-okay. And that's what they want. That's all you need to do is give them a lot of light, a lot of love. It's a lot of love here. But I hope you enjoyed that. So there's your number 1 secret. Lots of light. Making sure they're wet. Making sure they're in the right environment. Make sure they're in the right water. RO water. The less minerals in that water, the better. Not spring water, RO water. Reverse osmosis. 0. Nothing in it. That's what they want. They like their roots wet. And they like a lot. Hello, G-Man here. Welcome, my carnivorous friends and anybody who's been watching or following, and some of my buddies out there that wanted an update on my carnivorous plants. I can give it to you. Here's my little girl, Zenru. She's a year old now, January 1st. Roughly January 1st. And she's going to have a sister here coming up next year, or this year actually. And yeah, so there she is again. And I have to give out some proper shout outs to somebody I've been following for many, many, many years. And I want a big shout out. I'm going to give this shout out to Sarracenia Northwest. These guys are professionals. Jacob Farron and Jeff Dallas from Sarracenia Northwest. Jeff started in 1995, and it's one of his passions are carnivorous plants. Jacob, the same thing. Biology, physics, organic chemistry, organics. Fantastic. And I think there's a new younger guy that's joined their crew, but I only know Jeff Dallas and Jacob Farron. I've bought plants over the years from them. 2 wonderful gentlemen. They are professionals through and through. If you have more detailed questions or anything, they will have an answer for you. And they sell a lot of plants, a lot of carnivorous plants from sundews to you name it. So this plant here, that was April of last year. Now, I should have got my plants from Sarracenia Northwest. So this is an experiment, guys. So you can see these little buds, right? You see the pictures on this? Pretty sad. Something's going on here. This came out of Florida somewhere. Came out of a Florida nursery. That's where I ordered it from. I bought 2 of those. Only one made it. This one here made it. The other one did not make it. But I'll show you what was going on there, because they had dry. Their root mass was completely dry. That's the one that made it. That's the one I have that made it. All those little round bulbs or whatever they are, they look nothing like that. It's matured very well. And everybody's got their thing. They're going to have the right way, the wrong way, blah, blah, blah. But I'm no professional by no means. This is just by experience only. I have learned a lot from Saracenia Northwest. They actually had a video DVD many, many years ago, a collage. And I also have tons and tons of books on the subject. And Jeff Dallas and Jacob Farron, both wonderful gentlemen. They have a YouTube channel as well, so they'll give you periodic updates as well. And here's some Saracenias. These are some Saracenia pitcher plants. Pretty bad shape, but we saved them, guys. The best comes at the last moment here in these this pitcher entourage. So I hope you enjoy. Hope it's not too long. And I want to say thank you for spending your time with me and checking this out. Hopefully you'll learn something. But one thing about most carnivorous plants, and this is out of experience. I've been in the wild. I've been in bogs. There's a bog near me during the summertime I go, and I haven't been there in like 4 years, and I was just there over on my birthday last year, October. And I couldn't believe how it was devastated. It was destroyed. They did logging and everything, and it was a sad thing. It was sad to see. And it basically destroyed the entire environment. In this entire bog, when I went back there, before it got all logged, and they turned into a camping ground, now there's a big beaver dam there and everything. It's pretty sad. So here I got them in pots. So I put them in pots. These drain very, very well. I also put some quartz on it just to make it look nice. You know, quartz either does something or doesn't do something. But I'll tell you, it's a magic little rock to me. You'll see the plants. You'll see what happens with the plants here shortly. So this was back probably April or about the end of April. There's the two apenthes, and I said that incorrectly. I apologize. I keep saying Saracenia, but this is an apenthes. This is a tropical pitcher plant. Those other two over on the other side that you've seen were Saracenias. There's the names. I apologize. I'm not getting the scientific name down, so I apologize for that. So if you're a nerd, I apologize. I'm a nerd too. I just don't get that technical. But yeah. And these are apenthes. Two of them, just waiting for the slide to move. And so it's been a long process, but it's so much fun, you guys. These will do wonders in your windows. This is over my sink in my kitchen. I'll tell you a secret, so if you stick around, you'll find out a little secret. If you didn't find out or actually pay attention in the very beginning of the video, the secret was said there. Light and lots of sun for these particular plants. Depending on what species it is. If it's a sundew, sometimes they like it cooler. They have their cooler part of the months. I don't have any sundews here, so I have the Saracenias on the left, Rosas, and the regular Saracenia on the left over there. There's a Venus flytrap on the far right, but they did not make it. They did not produce anything. I think there's a lot of hoopla out there. I'll have to ask Jacob or Jeff and get an email from them and find out about if you can actually clone. I've heard you can clone the stems, the flower stems of Venus flytraps. Whether they're that strong or not, I don't know. But we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But my other mother Venus flytraps are outside at the moment. They're in ice, in water, and froze over. There's snow all the way over them, and I got them covered with a bucket over the top of them so they don't get freezer burn. You don't want them to get freezer burn. But cross your fingers, and hopefully next year we'll actually see it early in the spring. If they reproduce and keep going, they should, but we'll see what happens. Venus flytraps, for example, need a dormancy period to keep them growing and keep them rejuvenating all the time. Because the only place in the world, believe it or not, guys, the only place in the world you would think a Venus flytrap is from like a tropical jungle, and it really ain't. It's actually in the United States, I think in the Carolinas. And it's actually out there. You can actually find it in the wild out there. Now, they're becoming endangered, so don't go out and pick Venus flytraps. I don't want you to get you in trouble. There is laws out there, so pay attention to them. But it is cool to see in the wild, carnivorous plants. Like I was saying earlier, there was a bog I used to go to, and it was so much fun to go back there because you had to walk back this little trail off this road, park the car, get out there, and there's all these ponds, and it was a ginormous bog. And a bog is basically, think of peat moss. So you know the dried matter of peat moss, it's kind of dusty and dried out. Well, this is live peat moss. And when it decomposes and it goes down to the bottom of the lake that it's sitting in, or the pond, I should say, is sitting in, it decomposes many, probably 1,000 years, hundreds of years of decomposition down there. That's where a lot of plant nurseries and stuff get these from these big companies that actually dig it out of there, and then they treat it and they heat treat it. That's all they do, and then dehydrate it and make big bricks, and that's how you get them in the store. But anyway, this bog is beautiful. I would go out there on hip waders every so often. This is like 5 years ago, and look at now it's starting to produce the Apenthes is starting to produce some buds. Actually, there's another one over there on the left. Look how they're starting to grow now. Now you're starting to see them grow. Now it's getting colder in the months, but they're inside. It's about 70 to lowest is 69 in the kitchen. Otherwise, it stays pretty warm. Those LED lights, they actually give off a warm light, and they're bright, and they're really close to each other. And that's kind of what I wanted, because these plants absorb a lot of radiation and they want to produce photosynthesis. This takes a lot of energy. As you can see the young Sarracenia back there, you're going to see what that looks like when it gets almost grown. And they got a lot of growing to do, and they'll keep going. But getting back to that bog, and I would walk out there on these islands on peat moss floating on top of the water, and I could find indigenous species of Rosa sarracenias, wild ones. And it was really fun. And I took tons of pictures and stuff like that. That was many years ago. I had a lot of fun going back there, and I would just look at stuff. I wouldn't take anything out of there. But it was beautiful environment. Well, that environment has been destroyed now by logging industry, and they put a camp zone there, and then they threw the beaver dam over there and cut all this wood out. They literally destroyed the natural environment that bog was in, because a bog literally purifies the water around the forest. There's a lot to it. I'm not going to get too technical into it, so I apologize. But anyway, let's get on to better news here. So here you can see the Apenthes. It's starting to produce. There's four. Starting to have 4 pictures on there now. The stem, I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, I apologize, but the cap hasn't opened yet. And you can see you'll see as the pictures go how much it actually transforms. And I make this a habit every day. You don't have to, but I make sure these wells that they sit in, these pots have got little wells in there, so they're always filled with water. I always got water, RO water in there, so they're soaking in water. The roots like it. And every morning I get up in the morning and have a cup of coffee. I have a little Mr. sprayer up on top with fresh RO water, no minerals in that water. It's totally stripped of minerals. It's completely RO water. And I spray all of the Venus, I spray the Apenthes here down really good. And then the Venus flytraps, and then the Sarracenias as well. And keep them soaked, and just do it, give them a good wetting down, and look at how they're changing. Now there's the cap is open, and there's another one there. This is probably a couple months later. And then, what was I going to say? And then like maybe once every couple of weeks, I usually do it sometimes once every 2 weeks. I'll take them off the chains, take the bottom off, really careful, because their roots really grow, and they'll grow down in between. I cut out the bottom so they don't get all mangled up, and I just take those roots just as they are, and I put them in the sink, and I just flood them with RO water. And the reason why you do that is they like that, because they like their roots to be clean. They don't like any debris. You don't want any kind of like rotting material in there. Like there'll be a couple leaves that you'll see on the Apenthes, for example. I'll cut those off. If you don't like something on the plant, if it looks bad or if it's black or something, cut it out because it will cause problems later. You don't want any decomposition in the soil because the soil that it's really in is a 50-50 mix of peat moss, vermiculite, and that's pretty much it. That's all it is, and it drains really, really well. I put quartz crystal on it because it's just a draining, and there might be a little mineral in there with the quartz, but they're not getting that much. But they seem to like it because you can see this thing, this beautiful Apenthes is just it's blowing up. It's blowing up in a tremendous growth. Very happy with that. And look at this. The Saraceni are doing well. You can see a beetle. I get these Asian beetles. They're a pain in the butt. I spray my windows with vinegar and it works sometimes, but they keep getting in and it's annoying. But every time I find one, I throw them right in a plant. I just let them drop in there. I've seen them fall down in there and they can't get out. They try. I've actually seen one try to eat its way out. It couldn't do it. It actually drowned before it was too late. And this is where the plant gets its nutrients. It's not necessary for the carnivorous plants to eat anything at all. Sometimes they won't get anything at all, but most of the time there's something in the enzymes in the bottom of the well. So like this, look how pretty that is. It's just gorgeous. And these things, like in tropical jungles, there's many, many different varieties. They can get really big. Some of the size of these things, the Apenthes can be as big where they can actually sometimes rodents will fall in and drown and can't get out. It does happen. Snakes, lizards, you name it. And that's where the plant gets its nourishment from. And most of what they're getting for fertilizer when it breaks down, the enzymes are mostly, I'm going to probably hack this one. I want Jacob or Jeff mad at me. So I apologize. It's probably from nitrates to nitrogen and stuff that makes them grow, the green leaves and stuff like that. So that's where it gets it. Like most plants, sometimes they got fertilizers in the dirt or vice versa, that kind of thing. They don't like fertilizer. I've seen people use fertilizer for these plants, and no, that's a no-no. It really depends. You have to do your research on the particular plants. I'll get a name for this plant and find out what the actual scientific name is for it. But look at that. It looks like it's got teeth on the top. Looks like it's got teeth down the stem of the picture itself. It's just, look how it's transforming. And it's January now. It's January 17th as I'm speaking, I think it is. Yeah, January 17th, 2025. So this is 1 year, almost a year. It would be April of this year would be 1 year. But it's pretty good. Not too bad growth. So I think I got a green thumb somewhere. But it also helps too to do your research on these. A lot of people use spring water. Sometimes they use well water and treat the well water or put it through. I've heard so many things, put them in through filtration, the water purita stuff. I don't believe in that. There's still minerals in the water. These guys don't like any minerals. Just think of like rainwater. It's very acidic as well. Rainwater can be very acid. And their soil that they're in with the peat moss is very acidic. So they're not getting anything out of it. They like the roots compact sometimes. Some of the carnivorous plants like their roots loose. Sometimes they like a different type of soil. But you have to, like I said, do your research. Look how pretty that is. It's absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, I'm very happy about that. So I hope you guys like this. If you do, I'd appreciate it if a like and subscribe. That would be awesome. We actually do the Nerdy Collective every Saturday around noon. So if you want to go and see some talk about comic books or pop culture or anything like that, or even like plants or even aquariums. Another passion of mine is aquariums and fish, tropical fish. fresh water, of course. Loving it. So I hope you guys see those videos as well. That's been a lot of fun. And yeah, look how pretty that is. It's absolutely gorgeous. Stunning. Look at the red. You know, I did a little bit more of a close-up so you could actually see the details in the veins. But they're loving that. And you can see there's this long grass that's growing in. I actually pick all that out. Once it just comes, I don't know where it's coming from, but I just pick it out of there. Take it right out. And it usually takes care of it and it comes back. There's like another plant growing too. And they must like the soil. They must like the acid and just the water. And they're getting the radiation off the LED lights. But those LED lights were cheap. I mean, they're like less than 20 bucks, I think, for two of them. I think you can get them on Amazon. Look how pretty that is. Looks like teeth in the green. If you look at the green Sarracenia there, looks like teeth up there, little hairs. That's where the bugs will get attached. They'll get attached on there, and then when they go down too far, it gets like a waxy substance on it, and they'll actually just fall right down. And bye-bye. But yeah, I have never had any problems with, you know, those fruit flies when you have bananas or fruit in the kitchen, and sometimes you might forget a couple or whatever sitting in the fruit basket, and all of a sudden you get these pesky flies. Oh my goodness. And then if they go down the drain, then you got a real problem. No matter if you use bleach or whatever. But I have never had a fruit fly problem ever since I've had carnivorous plants in my kitchen. I love it. It's like a staple of my kitchen. You know, this is going on for many, many years. But like I said, big shout out to Sarracenia Northwest as well. Jeff Dallas and Jacob Farron. And I think the new guy, he started in 2020. His name is Sean Springfield. I don't know much about him, but yeah, check him out. He joined the nursery in 2020. He seems like he knows what he's doing because he's got the tropical Apenthes. Looks pretty nice. Go check out their website. They got plants there all the time for sale. Depending on what part of the world or what part of the country you actually live in, they'll let you know if there's going to be a delay because of weather. They want to make sure you're packaged right. Jacob does a really good job at it. And if you like have questions or anything like that, they'll let you know. You can talk to them. You can talk to somebody. But yeah, they know their stuff. Lots of research, professionals through and through. So big shout out to Jeff Dallas and Jacob Farron from Sarracenia Northwest. Love the guys. There's my little girl. There's the Comic G Spot, the Comic G Man, the Nerdy Collective, all my boys out there and my friends out there in the community. I really appreciate your support. Hope you enjoyed this. This might be a little long and drawn out, but I was trying to wait for almost a year. There's a lot of pictures. I take pictures periodically, once every couple of weeks, just to put this collage together. So I hope you like it. So she'll be getting a sister. I'll be showing you pictures of that soon. It's a fawn. They call it a fawn. It's more of a gray color. This is near my house during the summer. You can see the fog. The sun was just perfect. I took a bunch of photos of it on top of this hill. Absolutely gorgeous. So be good to one another. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, wonderful day. Be good to one another and enjoy life because you never know when your last day is. Enjoy the day for the day, for right now. I love you guys and hope you enjoyed this. And we will be out of here.